Before I call upon our national coordinator, I would like to make two announcements. One is the issue about our phones. Kindly let us put our phones on silent mode or vibration mode. Kindly let us put our phones on silent mode or vibration mode. The other announcement is that you should take care of your items or your luggage. Kindly take care of your items, your luggage or your bags. Sawa sawa. Phones on silent or vibration mode, and take care of your luggage, your items. Thank you. At this time, I would like to call upon our national coordinator, Joseph. Welcome, Joseph.
Thank you so much, Lois. I want to welcome you to this second session where we are essentially going to begin the discussions. Now, when you engage within the education sector, one of the things that you need to understand, especially in terms of how the ministry implements projects, you need to understand, one, the various projects that are there and what it is doing. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. When Elimu Yetu engages in advocacy, we target this area specifically because this is the area that the action happens. This is the area that matters. Sometimes when you speak just out there without focus, you lose the point. But if we want to change anything within the education sector, you change something at the point of intervention, and in terms of government efforts, this is where it happens. And it happens through projects, and it happens through initiatives. Two key projects within the sector at the moment at the basic education level include the Kenya Primary Education Equity and Learning Program, KPIL, and SIKIP, Secondary Education Equity, a Quality Improvement Program. These are huge programs, and through this particular program, the agenda of basic education is dispensed. Understanding what is happening within this program is vital in terms of influencing the advocacy we undertake. So today we have the privilege of getting presentations from the ministry with regards to two of these initiatives. At this point, I want to welcome Mr. Juma. He'll tell us more about himself, but he will be making a presentation on the KPIL program. It is my pleasure to welcome you, sir. Karibu. Let us put our hands together.
All protocols observed. Ladies, gentlemen, good morning. I'm Juma. I work with the Ministry of Education. I'm based in a directorate called Project Coordination and Delivery. In this directorate, that's where donor-funded programs are coordinated from in the Ministry of Education. And as the national coordinator has just presently two huge programs being coordinated from there. the KPIL program, the Kenya Private Education in Learning Program, and also the Secondary Education Equity, Equity and what? And Quality Improvement Program. I will be talking about the KPIL program, and I have my colleague with me, Ken, will also share with us about the CKIP program. And I'm happy as we talk about this program, I'm happy to mention that I know looking at some of the faces here, I'm very sure we are not meeting issues to do with this program for the first time. We have interacted with it. As we go out there for the missions, we have been meeting with quite a number of you as we deliberate in our various missions, the technical discussions. The national coordinator is always with us and other members. The national coordinator also sits in our project steering committees, and therefore these are programs that quite a number of us are versed about. And as a ministry, we are also very much appreciative with the way the coalition is able to keep us on our toes such that we are able to deliver and deliver for the good of the country. So our presentations were supposed to be three. One about the partnership, GPE partnership compact, then the KPIL, and then the CKIP. And it's good that because it is in the program, we mentioned that it's true we have that partnership compact. These are priorities that the country or the ministry has documented, and such that anybody who comes in knows where our priorities are, such that as they pledge into the ministry, they know where they come in and support. And I want to mention that the compact has been on since 2021. Midterm review was done. In September, we had the midterm review, and that process is ongoing. Engagement is ongoing between the GPE and the government, top representation. And once that process is over and the report on the midterm is out, then we'll be free to share with all of you on what is contained in that report. So for now, it will not be possible for us to be able to discuss much about that compact. Therefore, we will move forward and talk about the KPIL, which is ongoing, and also the CKIP. Please allow me to take you through this discussion on the KPIL program. This is a program that has been on since 2022, and we expected this program to end by 2026. And it is good to mention at this point that the government with World Bank are having discussions such that we have some additional financing such that this program continues up to 2029. So this program has an amount of $317 million US, and the funding comes from the World Bank. The World Bank pledged in $200 million US. Then we have the GPE and the Lego Foundation, which brought on board $117.1 million US. And the implementing agencies, the main ones are the Ministry of Education and the Teacher Service Commission. We have other sub-implementing agencies that include the Kenya National Examination Council, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, Kenya Institute of Special Education, Kenya Education Management Institute, the NACONEC, the Kenya Institute for the Blind, and the Jomo Kenyatta Foundation. In our discussions, we'll actually be able to find out what each of these implementing agencies and the sub-implementing agencies are doing in the program. What is the program development objective? And we are saying, as documented in our program appraisal document, the PDO is to reduce regional disparities in learning outcomes. We'll be interacting with this program, and you'll be able to see how this is getting achieved, improve the retention of girls in upper education, and also strengthen systems for delivering equitable education. These are the program beneficiaries, around about 6.6 million learners in primary schools who are benefiting from the school grants. As we will be discussing, you'll see that one of the interventions of the program is provision of school grants to some target schools. This program also has aspect of scholarship. This program also has aspect of construction of grade 9 classrooms, and all these people, learners who are in these schools are benefiting, and they also includes 221,529 children who are drawn from the refugee hosting counties of Garissa and Turkana. We also have around 117,900 learners who are drawn from schools that are located in the refugee camps. The other beneficiaries are approximately 20,000 diploma teacher trainees in the teacher training colleges. We have some aspects of the program being implemented there, and also we have a lot of trainings on CBC, CBA implementation, and also curriculum development that are benefiting teachers from primary schools and also in other levels of learning. How is this program organized? And we are saying that the model of funding for this program is what we are calling the P4R, the program for results. And this one is whereby funding is released upon achievement of specified results. So there are results that are outlined in the program appraisal document. The government is supposed to ensure that it achieves those results, and then the donors releasing funding to reimburse whatever results have been achieved. And this helps us so much because it helps us to always track on what we are doing, because without achieving results, then no reimbursement to conduct further activities. We don't receive it. And the program has three main resort areas. We have the resort area 1, what we call the equalized learning opportunities, improve learning outcomes in target counties. We have the resort area 2, which is on improving the participation of girls in schooling. And we have the resort area 3 that aims at strengthening the capacity for implementing initiated reforms. I want us to dive into these resort areas a bit and understand what kind of interventions that are there. And for the result one that we are talking about, equalize learning opportunities, improve learning outcomes. The main result area, allow me to go direct to the interventions. These were the challenges that were identified at the time we were conceptualizing the program, and the interventions that are being tackled under this result area one is the provision of result-based school grants. This is an intervention that targets around 1,422 primary schools. They are drawn from 10 low-performing counties as per the NASIMLA 2018 results, and also schools that are based in the urban informal settlements, and also the 50 camp-based refugee schools. They benefit from that first intervention. We have the second intervention. This second intervention is implemented by TSC, improving teacher deployment in target schools with highest pupil-teacher ratio. That is being implemented by TSC. Under the program, the TSC is required to deploy 5,000 teachers in these schools that are said to be experiencing the highest pupil-teacher ratio. We have the other intervention of supporting school meals program. This is an intervention being implemented by NACONEC to schools that are located in the ASAL regions and also in urban informal settlements. To measure how our programs is performing, we have the conduct of the NASIMLA studies, the National Sample-Based Learning Assessments. This is being implemented by NEC. And also, when we go now to the result area 2, the one that we are calling improving the participation of girls in schooling, the interventions that we have there are removing the financial barriers to school attendance. And I am very sure that majority of us have come across the program we call the Erimu Scholarship Program, a program managed by the Ministry of Education through agencies in the names of Equity Group Foundation and the Jomo Kenyatta Foundation. Under this program, the government is able to provide full scholarship to learners so that they are able to access secondary education, and the scholarship entails school fees, it entails pocket money, it entails travel to school and back, it entails mentorship services in school. We also track girls at risk of dropping out so that we are able to frustrate their re-entry back to school. The other result area 3, that of strengthening capacity for implementing initiated reforms. These are the gaps that were seen, and therefore we came up with these interventions, and the interventions includes the strengthening the reform implementation capacity for rollout of CBC and CBA. This intervention is being implemented by KICD and NEC. Then we have the other intervention, the better utilization of the NEMIS data. This being implemented by Ministry of Education. We have the capacity strengthening of teacher training colleges, whereby the Ministry of Education has managed to establish ICT-enabled learning resource centers in our teacher training colleges so that we can be able to comfortably prepare teachers who are able to handle learners in the 21st century. And also, we have been able to provide resource materials so that the teachers get reference materials as they train. The other intervention is on establishment of standards and tools for quality assurance of preschool. We are all aware that with our constitution, the implementation of education at ECDE or pre-primary is in the counties. But still, at the national level, we have a responsibility when it comes to policy, and therefore we are working very closely with the county government so that we are able to ensure that the education being offered at this level is of quality. And the other intervention under this resort area 3 is construction of new classrooms in the existing schools as per the need-based school infrastructure investment plan that the ministry was able to establish. So, the 3 resort areas, we have said that the program is a P4R program for resort, and therefore we are supposed to ensure that we deliver resorts to get reimbursements. And therefore, for that to be done, the program has a number of disbursement-linked indicators. DLI means disbursement-linked indicators that are verified that we have achieved so that we get the reimbursements. And in total, we have 6 DLIs, disbursement-linked indicators. In resort area 1, we have 3 main disbursement-linked indicators in resort area 1. In resort area 2, we have 1 disbursement-linked indicator. And in resort area 3, we have 3 disbursement-linked indicators. So in resort area 1, we have the disbursement-linked indicator 1, which is the number of target primary schools receiving school grants for completing priority areas in the approved SIPs. And just to mention how this disbursement-linked indicator operates, the target schools, which I mentioned that were 5,422, they were required to develop school improvement plans. If you remember, I said that these schools were those ones that were identified to be lagging in terms of learning outcomes, and therefore they were to come up with priorities that will boost the performances in these schools. Remember that we are saying that this is an equity program. And it's important for me to say that in all what we do in this program, it is totally aligned to our National Education Sector Strategic Plan 2023-2027. That's where we derive the priorities to be implemented under this program. And that's the reason why it is a program, it is not a project. Because these are identified programs by the government, the donor partners are just coming to plug in and assist and support the government to deliver what it is identified as its priorities. So, this is an equity program, so we want to ensure that we are able to push those schools or those learners who are lagging in terms of learning outcomes, and therefore, these were to come up with priorities that when they implement, performance will improve, and therefore, and after developing the SIPs, then that will be the first result that will attract their funding, their funding, and they will get disbursement to those schools of $4,000 US. After that, these schools were to implement at least 3 of the 5 priority areas outlined in their SIPs. And they would move around, verify that that has been done, and these schools achieve the second disbursement of $3,000 US. The other disbursement of 1,500 each, for which are 2, these were to be received by the target schools. Once the verification is done and it is proved that they have been able to retain 70% of the teachers in school and teaching for the year 2024 and 2025. So schools, as I mentioned, are these. These are the subgroups of the schools, 4,279. They are drawn from the non-refugee hosting counties, 8 of them. We have 643 schools from the hosting counties, 2, Garissa and Turkana, and 450 schools drawn from the urban informal settlements that are spread all over our urban areas in the country, and the 50 camp-based schools. And we want to report and say that this DLI, this disbursement link indicator, is on course in terms of its implementation. As we talk now, the schools, the target schools, they have all received the first disbursement of 4,000. Just recently, we were able to disburse the $3,000 US and the 1,500 US for these 2 resorts, right? And we are hoping once the school opens, they'll accelerate the implementation of the priorities with this funding. What is in waiting in terms of disbursement is just this last disbursement. So we are on course on this, and for all these schools that we have mentioned. The disbursement linked indicator 2 is the number of who are provided with school meals during each calendar year. As per the program, we are required to provide at least 1.6 million US for 155 days in a school calendar. And we can report that as we talk now, the government has been managed to feed our learners to a tune of 2.6 million per every financial calendar year up to 2025. The other disbursement linked indicator 3 on which is being implemented by Teacher Service Commission. I'd mentioned this deals with deployment of teachers in schools with the highest teacher shortages. And as we talk now, the TSC have fully achieved this. They have been able to deploy the 5,000 teachers that the program required them to do. So this is fully achieved. Sorry. The disbursement linked indicator number 4 that deals with learners, vulnerable learners selected to receive scholarship. I say this full scholarship. This far, the government has been able to recruit or select and put in schools into 34,000 learners in this program. And this is the way they were recruited in the various years. And as we talk now, the first cohort that was selected in 2022, these learners who have just completed Form 4 and are waiting for the results to come out, the 9,000. So this program is continuing in terms of payment of fees, and provision of the school kit, the mentoring support is continuing. And it's in good progress. Implemented by JKF and EGF. They are managing that on behalf of the DL5, the layout of CBC, CBA. I said this, that this is implemented by KICD and Kenya National Examination Council, and the program to work on the curriculum design for grade 10 to 12, and also develop support materials, develop and adapt special need designs for grade 10 to 12, and also do adapted materials for grade 4 to 9. And KICD has actually is finalizing on this. They have done the best part of this. CBA and the NEC, they were to do to do the school-based assessments. They were to be supported to do school-based assessment tools, and both for our learners in primary and secondary, junior schools and senior schools, and also CBTE, and this again is in progress. The LI6, the disbursement linked indicator number 6, or new classrooms constructed, and I want to report that under this program, the government has managed to build over 13,500 classrooms for grade 9. And this one was actually able to host our learners. It enables our transition from grade 8 to 9. As we talk now, at least we have shelters for our learners who were able to transit very smoothly to grade 9. So this has been achieved, and the program targeted around 13,400, and I'm reporting that we have done over 13,500. So that's the reason why we are saying that this DLI has already been overachieved. The disbursement linked indicator number 7, it is under resort area 3. Here is where under the program, we are capacity building the target teacher training colleges for implementation of competence-based teacher education curriculum. And we were required to implement quite a number of milestones in our 35 TTCs. One is retooling of at least 80% of the tutors to ensure that we give them the requisite skills, knowledge, to be able to implement CBE in the teacher training colleges. The program was also to establish, I've mentioned about the functional ICT-enabled learning resource center, provision of core reference material, establishment of linkages. This was for the purpose of practicum, such that the learners or the trainees are able to get practical skills from the primary schools. When we have the linkage, they can actually be able to step in and observe on themselves as they train on teaching, strengthen governance and accountability. And we want to report that all these 4 milestones have been achieved. What is this last milestone of strengthening the governance and accountability of target colleges through establishment of audit committees and timely implementation of actions from audit reports, availability of approved costed annual work plan, evidence of appropriate storages. This milestone, we have not achieved it, and we are hoping that before the end of this December holiday, we'll have made some steps towards achieving this. Some achievements we are saying, as we talk now, the program has been able to absorb 87% of the funds under the initial program that was to end by December 2026. And if you look at what is remaining, the 13% here, these are just disbursements that will go to schools in form of scholarships, in form of the very last resort under the SIP. And therefore, as we talk now, this program is like it's complete. Very few things are remaining, and this by the time we are in March, we might be reporting this program to be fully complete. So it's a program that is might end over 9 months before the anticipated end date. On the PDO indicators of the program, remember we are saying that the PDO indicator was on the percentage of learners achieving high order competencies. High order, this level 4, in literacy and numeracy, in the similar grade 3 assessment. And the target are these counties I mentioned about them, these ones that are falling in the last quintile. The last quintile, they are counties falling in that last quintile of performance, and including the refugee community. And we had the NASIMLA mid-line assessment under this program conducted in 2024, and the result showed that there was the percentage of learners in the percentage or the proportion of learners who are achieving the benchmark. So we had 8.7% in numeracy and 6.7% in literacy of learners order competencies. We had a benchmark, and we were looking at how many or what proportion of learners are able to achieve that benchmark. So it's not mean score. It's proportion of learners achieving the benchmark. And when, after the implementation of this program at midterm, we had these improvements. This is the performance of these learners in midline in terms of the various subgroups, the refugee schools, the hosting counties, the refugee hosting counties, Turkana and Garissa, and the non-refugee hosting counties. We can see in all the categories there was some improvement from the baseline. The first one was on, this is on numeracy, this is on literacy. Again, we can see that there was some improvement that was recorded in all the categories. In increase of target primary schools, teachers achieving proficiency, Teacher Service Commission was also to measure the percentage of teachers achieving proficiency in pedagogical skills for teaching English. And at midline, they were able to establish that 79.05% of teachers are proficient in English pedagogy. And this was an improvement from the result we had as our baseline. Under the PDO2, we were to improve the retention of girls in upper primary. And the upper primary here was the transition from grade 7 to grade 8. In 2023, we had 85.87 learners transiting to grade 8. This improved in 2024, and in 2025, it has improved to 96.34. So under the interventions under the program, we can say that they are helping in ensuring that we are able to retain our learners in school, the implementation of the re-entry policy, the infrastructure that we are providing in schools, the feeding program that the government is providing to the schools. These are contributing to having our learners in school and participating in learning. PDO3, strengthen system for delivering equitable education. As we mentioned, this is in course. Kicd has done designs up to grade 12. They have done digital content for diploma teacher education, vocational learners. They have trained teachers on CBC, including those from the refugee camps. NEC, on their part, they have also trained teachers on CBA, including those from the refugee camps. They have visited, and those teachers from the refugee camps, they can attest to these. NEC, Kicd have been into the camps and has been able to retool teachers on CBC implementation and CBA. Development of SBAs, and also development of SBA online portal has been developed. Some of the challenges that we can mention that, that we have been able to face in the process of implementation. One is capacity building involving large number of program implementers. This program required a lot of people to implement, is very huge, and we cannot be able to implement alone at the headquarters. We need to actively involve our colleagues who are in the decentralized units in the counties and the sub-counties, and for them to effectively implement this, then they need some form of capacity building. Sometimes it has been overwhelming for the coordination unit, but overall, we have managed the little we can by doing prioritization, ensuring that we are able to touch where possible. The other issue is to do with high demand of scholarship provided under the ministry. If you remember in our presentation, you have seen that the numbers that are provided with scholarships, like the first year 2022 were only 9,000, the last year 2024 were only 9,000. These numbers are too little for this country. When you move out, you'll agree with me, we have so many learners who are very needy, who are very vulnerable. So when we call for learners to apply, we get overwhelming numbers. And when we go to do the interviews and the home visits, sometimes we are not even able to know who to pick and who not to pick. But we are saying MOE is exploring sustainable modalities of funding education and strengthening public-private partnership so that we can be able to reach as many learners as possible. The increased number of sub-implementing agencies, and you can remember the list that we mentioned of the sub-implementing agencies, because we require all of them, and ensure that people are able to participate and give results. We have mitigated this by ensuring that we have continuous capacity building of our various teams so that we can actually be able to ensure that the resources that are going there are able to achieve the intended results. And I was happy when I heard our chair saying that the other day was able to visit Kicd. And in Kicd, you'll realize that a lot of good work is going on there under the program. The program have actually been able to equip Kicd to ensure that they have capacity for the production, for the repair and maintenance of specialist learning resources. assistive devices and technologies to achieve and to enhance learning. These resources are already there. Those equipments are already there. And Kicd is finishing on their workshop so that they can start utilizing these equipment to ensure that we are able to reach out to our learners who are living with special needs. KIB also have actually been equipped so that they are able to enhance their capacities for production of learning resource in accessible format for learners with visual impairment. And if you visit KIB today, what you will find there is success stories on the improved capacities in terms of the production of materials in formats that are accessible for learners with visual impairments. Maybe some few photographs or pictorials of the kind of work that is going on under this program. Sorry, I'm learning a bit fast. Yeah, these are some of the environments that we can see today. Having changed out of the implementation of the resort-based school grants, the SIP grants, these schools were able to improve on their environment, ensure that they procure learning resources, and these are kind of the things that when we go down to their schools, we'll find. This actually is a school in Nyanza. This is what they have done with their disbursement, the second disbursement, the tranche 2 that they received just the other day, and a lot of good work is going on in those schools. These schools have been able to acquire instructional materials in the form of supplementary materials, learning resources to assist in the learning process in school. These are the transformations that we can see in our teacher training colleges. These are what we are calling the ICT-enabled learning resource centers. The commonly known term nowadays is the iHubs. It's a package of smart classrooms, DLP labs, the studios, and the kind of trainees who are coming from our teacher training colleges today. They have actually been able to go to our schools in form of teaching practice, and the information we are getting there is that these teachers are well, they are well prepared to implement the competence-based education. Their digital literacy is on another scale, to an extent that even our old teachers are not very, sometimes they are not very comfortable with them because they are challenging them when it comes to digital literacy. This is a sample of a studio in Tabach, whereby our teachers now, they can be able now to develop their materials from these studios. These are the kind of constructions that have actually been constructed under the program. The model that has been used is whereby money is being disbursed by the ministry directly to the schools. The schools are sensitized on how to manage the construction at that level, and with assistance from the Ministry of Public Works, the constructions are done at that level. So we don't implement from the headquarters, it is done at that level that ends up building capacities of our leadership in schools in terms of infrastructure development. These are still classrooms that have been constructed under the program, and I think I will need to stop there. Yes. So thank you very much. And participating in that. And I think I can invite one or two reactions or feedback, and once we get those feedback, then yes? Yes? Being guided, these are two programs that are serving the same purposes. It's only that they are in different levels. We allow our colleague Ken to do his presentation, then we have one common forum where we ask questions and we give answers. I think that's okay. Thank you. Karibu Ken. Let's welcome Ken with a good clap.
Good afternoon. Hey, how are you? Are you really fine? No, I can see from your faces. Can you please just stand and stretch a bit? Just be up. Just be up standing, stretch a bit. Tell your neighbor Kpil. And now tell him or her Sikip. Say Sikip. Ah, you can now sit. My name is Kenneth Ojuang. As Juma has said, we work with Juma in the same department of projects coordination and delivery. We do projects from donor fund. We do donor funded projects. Juma has elaborately presented about KPIL. And it has taken a lot of time because KPIL is at 87% absorption. Did you see that? Now, I am in problems because the project I want to present is at 0% absorption. Now you see, I have a very short presentation because I don't have pictures of implementation like Joma. Did you see the pictures of implementation? Were they nice? Now, for me, I don't have any picture because the project I'm about to share with you is at its very initial stages. I want to thank this Elimu Yetu Coalition for giving me this platform to share with you about this new project. Actually, the donors require that before we roll out a project or a program, we need to do stakeholder engagement. This is a very good forum. Good because we have stakeholders from across the country. For me, as I do my report, I will share with the World Bank that I met people who are in touch with education at the grassroots level. So I'm very excited. I will try to be as simple because I am a teacher of geography and business studies. I also taught social studies at the TTC level in Migori Teachers College, but now I'm a projects officer at the Ministry of Education. So I have had classrooms where I am having very young learners, and at the TTC I had very averagely old learners, and therefore I know when people sit down for long, and the way you are looking at me, some of you are suggesting that you could be very fast, because lunch is also coming in. At least I've seen some teeth now. I can now continue. Now, the program I want to present to you is called CKIP. Say CKIP. In your programs, you look at where we are with KPIL. I have already explained KPIL, from its name, it deals with primary schools because it is Kenya primary. CKIP is secondary education. So from the names, you will see where we implement, isn't it? For us, we are going to implement in secondary schools. Now they are called senior schools. Say senior. Now, there is a school here, is in between. You know that school? It's called what? So you will realize that KPIL were doing activities both in primary and junior. Again, for us, because senior school has how many classes? Or grades? Only 3. Now, because there are only 3, and KPIL has how many grades? Surely. So for us, we are also going to overlap and have some of our interventions in junior school. So this junior school has 2 mothers, isn't it? Of course, we have 1 father, but you realize she will be taken care of by 2 people, isn't it? So the presentation I'm going to make is going to cut across junior secondary, senior secondary, and teacher education. Because teacher education is within our basic education sector, isn't it? I don't know whether I've made that context relevant. Now you can understand, isn't it? Now, the program I'm talking about, as it is indicated here, it is supposed to start from 3rd of September, and now we are in November. We are in December. Oh, and it was supposed to start in September. So we are how many months old? Just a few months, isn't it? The negotiation date, that was the negotiation date. The negotiation date is when we negotiate with the bank and the donors on how the program can become effective. We tell them what we have done, we lay our documents to them, and then they give us the effectiveness. Then the financing agreement was signed on 14th of January. The financing agreement is signed a little bit earlier because it involves National Treasury and World Bank. Then we also have the program effective date down there. And then the program overall cost is $618 million US. Now, where are we getting this $618 million US? This, unlike KPIL, if you were attentive, you realize that KPIL had several other donors apart from World Bank. Did you see that? They had GPE somewhere. And GP is also funding this organization, Elimu Yetu. They had Lego Foundation. For us, we only have the World Bank and the government of Kenya giving us what is called counterpart funding. So you will see how that is relating. But of importance, I want to talk about the Window for Host and Refugee Grant, WHR grant. You will see in this project that we have so many interventions in the refugee schools. Why are we intervening in the refugee schools? Because World Bank has given us some money which we are supposed to use for refugee and in the host communities. Last year, I'm happy to see Yel. Yel, just wave to them. Yeah, we worked very well with them. My friend, you're also there. We onboarded so many refugee scholars on KPIL, and very many of them are getting scholarship under KPIL. Where is it happening like that? It is because KPIL also has aspects of Window for Host and Refugee Grant, which is supposed to go. So as I continue presenting, those of us who come from the refugee get to know that we are also having another scholarship under CKIP this time around. So as you leave this place, go and sensitize the communities, because you know Thursday there's something happening. Do you know what's happening on Thursday? Tell your neighbor Thursday. Tell him again Thursday. Kama ajui wacha alale. So when that thing happens on Thursday, then you must move very quickly to ask our learners to apply for this scholarship so that they can be given full scholarship. Some people are laughing after the fact. You will catch up with me. See, I told you I'm a teacher. You just catch up with me. So that is where we get our funding. Sawa sawa. Now, Juma did a lot of project terms. Did you hear them? PDO, what? But I want to deal with what I call pillars. How are we going to implement this program? We are going to have 3 pillars. One of the pillar number 1, is equity in secondary education. Making sure that we are at equity level, and we are going to target expansion of infrastructure, including schools in the refugee camps and special schools. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, we are going to construct classrooms in the refugee schools because we don't want to leave them behind. Just like Juma had shown you how they are having very nice classrooms in the Kenyan schools, we are going to do that under CKIP. Pillar number 2 deals with enhancing teaching quality of teaching and learning, strengthening the workforce. This is going to be purely implemented using our commission called Teacher Service Commission. Because you cannot talk about learning without talking about the teacher, isn't it? So we are going to look at the quality of the teacher. And then number 3, we are also going to look at strengthening of systems. We have so many systems within the education sector. How do we strengthen these systems? Including the civil society. There are systems within us, isn't it? How do we strengthen each other? So I will not go the direction of Juma of telling you PDOs, what has been achieved, but I will just tell you these are some of the things we are actually going to okay. So these pillars are going to be implemented through 3 results areas. Now, some of you have interacted with the donor funding. You know very well for you to how to implement a project is you must show what you want to achieve. Juma really showed us under KPL because they have achieved a lot. So he was giving us the milestones per results area. But me, because I don't have any milestone this morning, you laugh at me, but anyway, when you come next year, I will shock you. Yeah. So we are saying, results area 1, we are going to expand equitable access to quality of secondary education, improve teaching in junior schools, and also strengthen system for expandable service delivery in secondary education. Are you seeing junior school somewhere? Are you seeing senior school somewhere? Yes. Now, if you can see those ones, did you see primary somewhere? in Juma's presentation, did you hear about primary, early grade, literacy, numeracy? Some of you were sleeping that time. Oh, my goodness. But in my class, you will not sleep. I will make sure you smile until you don't do what? You don't sleep. Is your neighbor smiling? Okay, we can continue. Okay, now this, let me just go back. The overall program development objective. If you are coming up with a new program like this one of ours, you must have an objective and you must have a goal. What is it that we want to achieve? By the end of the 4 years that we have been given by the government and the World Bank, we intend to reduce regional disparities in access to learning outcomes in target junior secondary schools and strengthen systems for delivering equitable education outcomes. Our focus is to enhance equitable access and service delivery for effective implementation of CBE in how many schools? Which schools are these? And are you seeing them up there? Okay. Now, how do we want to achieve that? It is here now. Our performance, we have what is called key performance indicators. Juma was talking about DLI, achievement. There were a lot of program terms, but me, I've simplified them. I'm just calling them performance indicators, isn't it? And I'm saying, number 1, we want to look at how do we retain our learners. Retaining means they stay until they complete. Because we are having a lot of dropouts, isn't it? So the opposite of dropout is retention. How do we retain our learners in junior school until they are able to transit to senior school? And remember, in junior school is where we have learned there's a lot of dropouts because of so many other issues. Number 1, they are becoming adolescents at this stage. Number 2, their teachers are also behaving like adolescents. Don't quote me elsewhere, please. That one is for you to smile. The teachers have really caused a lot of drama. Have you seen their drama? So now, when they shout around and do a lot of things, some of them have not accepted that they are in primary schools. They are in primary schools, but they behave like they are in secondary schools. Have you seen that? Now, you are not teachers. You don't have, anyway. So, KPI number 2 is average learner test score. We want to see, is there improvement in science, mathematics, and English? These are some of the areas we are going to test ourselves at the end of the program to see whether mathematics, science, and English. There's a new pathway. There's a pathway which is very exciting, which all the learners want to go to that pathway. That pathway is called what? Oh, you also know it? Hey, so that pathway is giving us a lot of problems because everybody thinks that if they go that pathway, they will really be very great Kenyans. But so we want to strengthen that and ensure that those learners who choose this pathway, number one, they must have proficiency in language. Hey, somebody spoke Kiswahili here until, did you admire that Kiswahili? You know me, I come from Lake Bwana. Now you're laughing at me, no problem. So the language also matters. Because if somebody cannot speak English like I'm doing, is my English good? And now, so you clap for me if my English is good. Very good. I know now you will be active even before lunch comes. Nobody will sleep, eh? So I am saying English is key. Why did we bring English where mathematics and science is? If a learner cannot speak, write, read English, then they cannot do chemistry and biology, isn't it? And therefore English was brought into the program so that as we enhance these areas, we also enhance the English aspects. Those who are Kiswahili diehards, don't stone me. I don't know why Kiswahili was not put here. But I know because English covers a broader area, English was brought, isn't it? Aye. Beneficiaries. Who is going to benefit from this program? Approximately 1.9 million learners, both in JES and in SS. What is SS? You know. These are terms you need to begin accepting. I was meeting one of the board of directors, Madam Mary. Madam Mary, where are you? She's somewhere. And she was telling me, you know, some of us are old, some of these terms are new. You must learn to accept that there is now not high school. You know, some of you went to some schools and they were really troubling us. I went to Maseno school. You know, I went to Sijui, which school did you go to? Okay, don't tell us. But now those ones are gone. High school. You know, some of us went to mixed day secondary schools. And so when you say you went to a secondary school, others are saying you went to high school. Now all that is buried. What we are having is senior school. So there is nothing like high school. So which senior school did you go to? That is what the Gen Zs will be asking us in the next very few years, isn't it? So which senior school did you go to? So you can ask your neighbor, which senior school? About 15,000 learners are going to benefit from a Elimu scholarship. Juma has shared with us that KPIL did cohort 1, 2, and 3 of Elimu scholarship. We are now coming with cohort 4. Actually, we have advertised. How many have seen our advertisement? Ah, good. I will share with Wasiongo our advertisement on WhatsApp so that he can share with you. Please, as you go back, if you have a learner who is vulnerable, we have already applied. We have already advertised. When that thing happens on Thursday, let them do what? Apply. The advertisement has very good elaborate ways of doing what? But if you are doubting, tell them to visit their nearest sub-county education office. Many of you have worked with us in our CSAC teams. How many have worked with our CSAC teams? Selection, CSAC? Good. But even those ones in the refugee, we worked with you in the CSAC. I was there at Turkana University, where we were. CSAC means Community Selection Advisory Committee. That is the committee that helps to select vulnerable learners from the community and gives it to the Ministry of Education for scholarship. I am explaining this because I don't want those hands to go up when I go down. Because I've seen the way Juma has finished, you will kill us with hands going up. But it's okay. About 78,000 teachers in public junior schools and teacher training in refugee camp based. We are expecting to do a lot of retraining and retooling. Retraining and retooling of these teachers in junior schools is because some of these teachers were taught the 844 curriculum, isn't it? So the retooling must keep on going on. And we are also including teachers from refugee schools, and you know why? Because we want these competencies to keep on doing what? Being improved. Then about 19,000 head teachers in junior schools, 4,810 females. Now, how many males are they? If the number, mathematicians are not here, okay, it's okay. That tells you very many of them are what? Males. And that rings something in you, So the program beneficiaries, again, we have about 26,000 teachers in teacher training colleges. Juma has shared a lot that is happening in teacher training colleges. Let me surprise you. KPL only did a very small section in junior training colleges, in teacher training colleges, the iHub. How many have seen the iHub in any of the school around them? Teacher training college. If you visit any teacher, good, thank you. If you visit any teacher training college, you would see the change. We were with you in Asumbi. Hey, we were with you in Asumbi Teachers College. Yeah, I can remember you. From Homa Bay, yeah? Ah, good. You took good care of us in Homa Bay. So you clap for him. Ah, good. I know my students. Oh, you were also there. From where? You have seen the teacher training college?
Not seen.
Uh-huh.
We are interacting, they implement.
Ah, great. In Machakos, we even have learning assistive devices for teacher trainees with special needs. Because we have VI in Machakos and I think another college called Mosoriot. We are giving specialized devices for those teachers. Now, under this program, we are going to do, number one, build classrooms. Number two, build labs. Renovate teachers' quarters. And just make these teacher training colleges look like they are modern. Somebody was telling us, you heard Juma was saying that some of the teachers were graduating from colleges and they are not able to interact with the ICT devices. The learners in their classes were much advanced than the teachers. Have you seen something like that? Some of you here are smiling, but your children are much advanced in operating your own mobile phone than you. So that is where we were. So we want the teachers, as they graduate from the teacher training colleges, they are able to interact digitally, way beyond the students, so that they are able to, these things that Kicd was saying, they are assessing material. Some of the material they are looking at is digital material. So we want to make sure that the teachers are able to really interact with the digital material. That is when CBC will come. So there is a group of people here called Quality Assurance and Standards Officers. Those are our officers. We also have a package for them because they're the ones who are helping us to implement CBC at the ground. Then we are also not forgetting people who are called Curriculum Support Officers. I intentionally didn't say CSO because when I was younger I realized CSO in this context is different from CSO in our context. Hii CSO yenu ni gani? Sasa hii yetu ni gani? Sasa lazima mjue, mkienda forum moja na mko na wao, unasema wewe ni CSO, mimi na wewe ni CSO gani? But anyway, so we have curriculum support. These are officers under Teacher Service Commission who go to schools, do lesson observations, and really help to improve the learning standards within our schools and to support our teachers deliver CBC curriculum. The arrangements. Now, this one I want you to be a very bit keen because here is where we put the shilling. Here is where we allocate the shilling. No, it was in dollars. You know, sometimes we put this thing in dollars to confuse you. You are laughing. You tell me when lunch. You know me, I can make you laugh until you miss lunch here. So we are saying expand results area 1. What are we going to do under results area 1? We are going to do infrastructure development. Are you seeing that building there? We are going to do infrastructure, LCB, PS, SNE, and camp-based schools. What is LCB? LCB are low-cost boarding schools. Many of our SAL schools have what we call low-cost boarding. Have you heard about it? The low-cost boarding in the ASALs. Wale wanatoka town wachanane, hiyo sio yenu. Hii ni Turkana huko, Mandera, Wajia. Where we don't have regular schools, we have low-cost boarding. They are not purely boarding, but they are boarding because they are offering some kind of a boarding. We are going to do something, I think we are building dormitories there. We have SNE, we have camp-based schools. This one we are doing MOE and NACONEC. There is an agency we call NACONEC. I don't know whether you have heard about it. So NACONEC and MOE are going to support this with support from KISE. Because anytime you're dealing with learners with special needs, you must bring in KISE, isn't it? And this organization called DRS, those of us who come from the camp, we have our interior counterparts called DRS. If you have to do anything in the camp-based schools, you must involve DRS. So in infrastructure, those are the areas we are going to deal with much. B, we have learning resources. We are partnering with KICD to provide textbooks and revised learning areas for MOE. And KICD, if they will be here, they will tell you we are giving them support to do a lot of that, both in junior school and senior school. C, host communities and refugee schools. We will provide school grants. You might be levered to explain school grants. I don't want to go back there. But even now, those teachers from the refugee schools, are you here? Do you know school grants? Are you implementing school grants? So CKIP is going to add you more tranches. Now we call them tranches. Tranche 1, those are terms. You must get knowledge used to it. When you hear tranche 1, you ni pesa, sio kitu. Sio nini? Ni pesa. Tranche 1, tranche 2, we are doing tranche 3. So we are also going to add you several tranches. Then D, here is where I want you to listen carefully. As civil society. Can you read for me number D, just to see you're not sleeping? Scholarship, mentorship, social support, and gender. We are going to have a lot of interaction because many of our learners are out of school. We are going to come to the community, do some advocacy. Now, here, I must be very careful not to explain so much because you know more than I do. So I must be very, we are doing a lot. Actually, as we speak, our CKIP team are in Naivasha developing advocacy material. Last time we did one called Elimu ni Sasa. We want the learners who are out of school to go back to school. And by the way, the World Bank has allowed us to have what is called a minimum essential package, especially for girls. Because if you meet a girl from the street and she agrees to go back to school, she will tell you, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have that. So through our education officers, we are able to do something called minimum essential package. Most of these things are still under development, and when they will be ready, I hope Wasihongo and team will be involved, so that we also, when we are coming in an area where you are, you will also be involved and taken through to understand what you want to do and also to plug in through your local systems. But we are having a component of advocacy. Are we there with you? You know, when you keep quiet like that, maybe, okay, fine. So this will be done by Jomo Kenyatta, Ministry of Education, Jomo Kenyatta, and NACONEC. Now, why Jomo Kenyatta? Jomo Kenyatta Foundation is doing for us scholarship, and therefore they will be helping us to place some of these learners we get from outside back to schools. And some of our own learners who are on scholarship, some of them sometimes drop. So we must bring on board Jomo Kenyatta. But most importantly, we are bringing NACONEC because NACONEC implements school feeding program. Now, some of these learners drop out of school. One of the reasons is because there is lack of what is called food, isn't it? Food in some areas, some of you don't know, me, I've been Turkana, Wajir, Mandera. Food is a very special package for learning to continue. In fact, some head teachers were telling us, when learners see smoke in the school kitchen, they come to school in big numbers. Is it true? But if there is no smoke, they will not come. So we want to make sure that there is smoke in the school kitchen, isn't it? Tell your neighbor, white smoke. People, the Catholics know what white smoke is. E, increasing access to learners with special needs. We are going to do more with regards to access assistive devices, revamping 10 EAC. EAC centers are education assessment centers. Let me say something about this, because I'm passionate about learners with special needs. We used to have EAC centers in our regions. How many have ever heard about EAC? EAC centers are assessment centers. Now, when a learner is a learner with a disability, for example, let me look at the visual impairment. how do you place this learner in a school? Visual impairment ranges from low vision to total blindness. There are so many in between. It is the EAC center where they assess the learner. Then they tell you, this learner, the best school to take this learner is Thika School for the Blind. The best school to take this learner is Vision School or this one in Kisumu. So they will assess the learner's disability and help in placement of this learner. Some parents keep learners with disability at home. Have you heard about that? Because they don't know. It is because our EAC centers in the regions are not active. So we are going to revamp the 10 EAC centers, integrate 20 schools attached to the 10 EAC centers. We are going to link schools with EAC centers so that if there is a learner who can be put in a school and be monitored by the EAC officers instead of taking them to a far school. It's a whole component. I wish we had people from Kicd to explain to you this. They know about how they want to do it very much. So here, we are going to do virtual awareness also for JS and SS. Kicd is going to lead this together with KICD. Then F, under results area 1, is promotion of girls in STEM through mentorship. Whoever is going to do that is called Semester. Say Semester. Some of you don't know this organization of ours. Do you know about it? What is Semester in full? Center for? Aya, wacha. Kama mwalimu lazima nitoe homework. Si uko na kalamu na karatasi? Andika hiyo chini, enda fanya homework. Sawa sawa? Na nitarudi kesho ku mark. So we are going to do a lot of promotion of girls through mentorship using our institution called Semester. Then finally, under results area 2, results area 2 is easy now. I will go very fast. We are going to retool JS teachers. We are going to retool head teachers. We have realized that the head teacher is the school, isn't it? She is the head of the school. So we are not going to leave them behind. We are going to have a special package for training of the head teachers on various issues, CBC. We are going to retool tutors in 3 diploma teacher training colleges. We have diploma teacher training colleges for secondary schools, and we have diploma teacher training colleges for primary schools. You know that? One of them is in, it's called what? This one in Nyeri. Kigari, eh? Kigari is for secondary. Kagumo, yes, Kagumo. Kagumo is for secondary, while Kigari in Embu is for primary, eh? So we are going to deal so much with the 3 to enhance secondary education. We are also, under strengthening of teacher management, we are going to implement comprehensive strategy for rationalization of teacher distribution of teachers. We are going to ensure that the teachers are distributed well. And who is going to do that? Teacher Service Commission, where we have so many teachers in Nairobi and very many teachers in Mandera, very few teachers in Mandera. We are going to look at the redistribution, especially in senior school and junior school. Then we are also going to, that is C. B is 2,000 junior schools, including free-day secondary education, upscaling of live coverage. We are calling it live streaming of lessons. Live streaming of lessons is a program which was started some time back by Teacher Service Commission, where a teacher in Alliance, when he's teaching and is linked to some school in the village, that school is able to follow how the teacher is teaching in a school. So we are going to do that so that schools can follow what other schools are doing, and it can be live. You can teach live and other people follow from the village. So we can do that. And then also refugee and host community schools are going to be involved in this. 15 low-cost boarding and primary schools. And then we are also going to do this in support of Teacher Service Commission, MOE, and of course DRS. When you see DRS there, anytime we are having refugee, you will see what? DRS, and they know why that is happening. Then upgrading of 35 pre-service teacher training colleges. I had talked about this. Construction of classroom, sanitation facilities, staff for staff and students. Installation of solar lighting for iHubs. Now, solar lighting is something we want to really look at, because the colleges have told us that since we brought for them the machines, they are incurring very high cost of electricity bills. And therefore, World Bank and the Ministry of Education want to revamp to ensure that all the teacher training colleges are going solar. Is that a good idea? To cut down on the electricity bills and to allow learners, you know, in some colleges, they switch off the lights at some times, because the principal is fearing of the bills. I know you do that even in your home sometimes. So you do that just to take care of the high cost of. But now we want the learners to be free in accessing these devices by so enhancing the solar lighting, provision of overhead water harvesting tanks. We are doing something about water harvesting tanks in schools and in TTCs, and we shall be dealing that in teacher training colleges so that we see that they have very good water, and especially teacher training colleges which are in ASAL. I'm told there's a teacher training college called Tarbaj. Did you know about it? There's another one called Mandera Teachers Training College. There's another one called Kitui Teachers Training College. You only know of Asumbi, Migori, Siji, those 18. Now, there are so many coming up, and some of them have challenge even of water. So we are doing something to enhance that. And then finally, results area 3. Very easy. Results area 3, purely we are strengthening system for equitable delivery in secondary school. This will be delivered through support of Sustainable School Meals Program, NACONEC. We are doing what is called centralized kitchen. See, I told you there is something called smoke. Did you hear the smoke thing? So what are we building now? We are doing what? We are building centralized kitchen in Kisumu. Yodala, are you here? Yes. In Mombasa, Nakuru, and Eldoret. Now, this is a pilot. Why are we doing this? If you come to Nairobi here, Sakaja and some organizations called Tap to Eat and whatever, they did this centralized kitchen where you find one kitchen supplying several schools. Because we realized the urban area, in urban centers, even the fuel to cook is a problem. You know, in your village school, those of us who went to schools, some of us used to carry firewood to schools. Did you carry firewood? How many carried firewood to school? Can I see by show of hand? Kumbe tuko. Firewood, firewood. The others who carried water to school. But by the way, the others who carried cow dung to school. Watu wa cow dung ni waone. They are here. So what we are saying is, today that firewood is not there. And especially schools in town. And the population is, I wish you visit some of the schools around here. A school having 3,000, 4,000 population. And you know, you cannot release them to go for lunch because even crossing the road is a problem. If you come to some of the schools along Gong Road, if it is when the school is coming to an end, a police officer has to stand on the road, stop and cause jam for learners to do what? Now, if it is done like that, even at lunchtime, we will be having chaos. So we are saying students must remain in school, but we are constructing centralized kitchen. And therefore, after constructing this centralized kitchen, where we will design for them whether to use gas as fuel or steam cooking technologies, then now from the centralized kitchen, we will be distributing food to the satellite schools around that kitchen, so that we don't have this problem of making head teachers think about where to get, because sometimes they'll tell you we have food, but we don't have the fuel to cook. The fuel is even more expensive than the food. So this is what we are going to do, and it is going to be pilot in these 4 cities, and these are only cities, isn't it? If you ask me why Nyeri is not there, I will ask you, when did it become a what? So you must make sure your governor makes your county a city. So we will pilot here. If it works well, then we shall use that in so many other urban centers to decongest and make sure that this program reduces the cost of making food in school and makes learners to stay in school until the whatever. Now, this is organogram. This is how we implement our programs. I will not belabor in it. We have the program steering committee where our Sihongo sits. We have the technical committee where the others sit. We have head of directorate, national project coordinator, results areas, and then we have technical teams where I also sit in these technical teams. So this is how we are going to coordinate this project or this program. Then we also have how we are going to coordinate ourselves in terms of, this one. Advocacy. I brought this because I know this is an area I need to bring your attention to, but I will not talk much about it because so many things are in the kitchen. And you see, if things are in the kitchen, for us where I come from, there is a food called rabuon. It's potatoes. If it is cooking, you don't keep opening it. If you keep opening it, it will go bad, isn't it? So these things, like this one here, it is in the kitchen. I don't want to keep opening it. I want it to cook well, then through Wasihongo, we will bring it to your attention when it is ready. Because I know this is your area. And I know if I keep opening it, some of you will help me open everything and want to eat even before the food is ripe. Otherwise, thank you very much. My class has been good. I thank you and God bless you.
Pick, mared, unasema, mared, mabulu, hapo juu ni pink, pamba sana, pamba kabisa, ongezea basket, alafu tuangushe vizuri, tupatie Juma na Kenneth. That's wonderful. They have spoken very well. We are very, very happy about the interventions by KPIL and, I don't know, Kenneth, you're promising us Canaan. But that's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, it's good to promise. Even if we don't get to the sun, we'll be around where? At the moon. I'm so happy when I hear that kind of promise. Now, this is a very important session now. Your hands were very high, and I want them now to come, because we have now a session of about half an hour to ask questions and have responses from the two wonderful men. So I will do it in an ordered way. Please, if you have questions, you raise up your hand. What we'll do, Juma and Kenneth, just not the questions, we'll pick a few at a time, and then I'll give you a chance to respond. You can agree who will be responding. So let's start. Raise up your hand if you have questions so that I can see how I can organize myself. We'll start here. Another one. I want to pick the first hands. The lady, 2. Then 3 at the back, 4. Then my brother there, 5. If you have raised your hand, just following that order, they'll be listening, and then we'll be taking the questions so that we can group them and then answer from our team there. You can start.
Thank you very much. I'm Dennis Marita from Nyanza, Kisii County. Both Ken and Chuma, thank you for the wonderful presentation, as you are the agents of the government, for the good milestone. But my question comes about, you mentioned about equity and equality. As we know, equity is promoting the equal treatment, and equality providing all students with the same resources and opportunities. Now the question comes, if a child is hungry and the other thirsty, and both of them are given a bottle of water, as per you, is there equality there and the equity? Then my question now goes direct to grade 9, outgoing grade 9, the first one to do this transition system. The little I know, the grade 9 who did their exam, grade 9, they did through virtual. Their practicals were virtual, not real. They are going. What about the others who are coming already? I think the labs will be already made and they will be doing their practical lively. Is there now equity there and equality? And another question is about NMS. The Ministry of Education, they said they have detected ghost schools which stopped capitation to schools that has made so many students to suffer. Between the officers, you know, at sub-county levels, we have officers there. If they capture their schools from those places, take them to national level, where now do we get about these ghost schools coming from? Thank you. Those are the few questions.
Thank you so much. I targeted 5 questions, so we need 2 more, please.
Thank you so much. I'm Christine Ivedi from Kitui. My concern is about the feeding program, that is the senders. I think from one sender to another one, we are using the borders. And then, what about if the food gets poisoned on the way? Yeah, we have to think out of the box. Thank you.
One more at the back. There was a gentleman who was at the back. Yes.
Thank you. My name is Joel Ruto from Kericho County. Thank you. The 2 presentations from the 2 gentlemen were very inspiring. But my comment is, I didn't see an item on monitoring and evaluation. Thank you.
Now, wonderful, because we want to give them at least a chance to respond to questions. We pick those 5, then we continue. Maybe we can now see, maybe from either Juma or Kenneth, the first 5 questions. Where's the mic?
Let me start from centralized kitchen because I'm the one who spoke about the smoke. And thank you very much for asking questions. We would also wish that you shoot directly. You know, if you give us proverbs like my other friend, surely, it will take us ages to interpret. Just shoot straight. Like somebody has asked, if food moves from point A to point B and it gets poisoned. You know, that is very straight, isn't it? Now, let me start with that one. Juma will respond to the others. We have had this modeled in Nairobi here, and there are very strict quality measures that has been put in place. Okay. These people want to see my very not so handsome face, so they want me to stand. So, I want to start from the food issue because it is us who are doing centralized kitchen. We have implemented it here in Nairobi. I don't know whether we have people from Nairobi here. Have we had any poison issue? Not so far. The government is aware. And if you see the way this food is being transported, actually in Kajiado, it's also happening in Kajiado. There are measures. Even the boxes used to transport the food are not your ordinary metal boxes. So there are measures that have been put in place. Actually, we are partnering with WFP. Do you know even now we are supplying food in the refugee schools under KPL? So we are partnering with WFP and so many other NGOs. Actually, those of us who were in Mombasa last month, when we were engaging head teachers in capture meeting, all the NGOs providing food, we sat together. And we are thinking out of the box because there are challenges. Learners are in these urban areas. When they go back home for lunch, there is nobody. The mother has gone to look for food, for their daily bread. The landlord has locked the gate because of security issues. So they just go home and play on the road and come back. So there are measures that we are going to put to transport this food. In fact, we are working very close with the Ministry of Health, the PHOs, to ensure that the food sourcing, storage, handling, transportation, and service, 5 areas, they are going to quality assure us so that we don't have these issues of food poisoning, because it will be dangerous. And you know how the media, media naweza kutugonga jamani, media. I hope they are not here today. So I can assure you, when the smoke billows in the schools, all these measures will be put in place. And we also pray and hope. You know, there are people who are also malicious, isn't it? We pray and hope that nothing really happens. Nairobi has been successful. So far, we have not had issues. So we hope that is what we are going to move to the other places. I want to invite Juma to respond to the rest. Juma?
Thank you, Ken. And thank you, team, for the questions. And I'll also retaliate and also say, let's have direct questions so that we don't waste a lot of time trying to understand, so that we can able to answer. And we are also not promising that we have ready answers for all these questions you're asking here. All right? Yes. I want you to understand the ministry is too huge to be operated by 1 or 2 people. And that's the reason why we are organized into departments. There are those who implement programs under secondary. There are those who implement programs under primary. There are those who implement programs that are in Directorate of Project Coordination. We have the SNE, and therefore that's the reason why I'm just cautioning that we might not have direct responses for all the questions, but we will attempt to answer where we can, all right? Where you might need more information, we can just carry that and go and request that through Wasihongo that Erimu yetu needs this information, please, you people, share with them. Is that okay? Yes. So my colleague talked about children who are hungry being provided with a bottle of water, right? And we need to agree we are all in Kenya, and the resources that we have in Kenya, they are not that sufficient to the proportion we may want. And I want to say that the program, the school feeding program that we have, we might reach a situation whereby as a country we are able to provide a hot meal for every learner, such that these learners are able to remain in school and participate in learning. But we have not gone to that level where we have adequate resources to do that. So the little resources that are there provide school meals in some target count areas, the ASA regions, and also in areas where we have schools in the urban informal settlements. We use 2 modalities where we take food there, the in-kind. We have some schools where they are given resources and they source for their food. But majority of the school, we distribute food items. And the school prepares the food from that end. There is issue to do with the grade 9 practicals. Somebody has asked that. This is a program that is we are all implementing CBE, right? It's in initial stages. We have done grade 9 for the first time. It might be having some challenges, which we believe that with the time as a country we'll be able to learn from those challenges and overcome. And I want to say, at where I sit, I might not be able to adequately respond to that. Issue of Go Schools data. We don't fear saying that we have been having challenge with the data. And that's the reason why the person who was representing our DG said that we want to come up with a robust system that manages our data. And therefore, in our ministry, we are coming up with a whole directorate on chemists, such that we can actually be able to come up with a robust system that will be able to address issue with data. Monitoring and evaluation. You cannot actually be able to implement programs of this magnitude without the aspect of monitoring and evaluation. These are things that happen every other day. You need to keep track on what the progress in terms of implementation. If you are very keen, I talked about the midterm review, the midterm assessments that were done for the KPL program. That is an evaluation. We are evaluating. Are we on track with that assessment? And we expect that in 2026, we'll have another assessment. We keep on tracking. And I know some of you, we have involved you during our missions. Every quarter, the ministry, in collaboration with the partners, we sit, discuss on what we have achieved, and we move out to the field to see whether whatever is being reported is what is practically happening in our school. And we report on it. It happens. We monitor, we evaluate, we report. This is something that is continually carried out. I want to stop at that point. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So those 5 questions have been addressed. I want to continue. There were 2 hands starting from my gentleman there. Please, is it Ouma? Yes.
Omuga is a household name.
Yes. I didn't.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the 2 speakers, Mr. Ken and Juma. And thank you, Ken, for informing this house that I'm so receptive. I receive people well in Noma Bay. Thank you very much. We understand, or we know that this year, 2025, the question is directed to Mr. Juma, please. Be attentive. This year, 2025, we had 200 school learning days. Term 1 had 67 days. Term 2, 72 days, and term 3, 61 days, bringing a total of 200 days. Take note of that. You are aware in 2025-26 financial year, the government reduced the feeding cost budget from 7.1 billion to 3 billion shillings. Take note of that, it's in record. From 7.1 billion to 3 billion Kenya shillings to feed children in school. In your DUI number 5, You did mention that 2.6 million children are feeding. 2.6 million children in Kenya are feeding. And the budget estimate 25-26 financial year is 3 billion, which means you are budgeting with 3 billion. If you divide this, it means a child is going to spend 115 shillings per year on feeding, unless I was very poor at mathematics. But this is very simple mathematics. Every child is going to spend 115 shillings per year to feed. That is 0.5 shillings per day. If 2.6 million children are feeding on 3 billion Kenya shillings, where is this magic? Can you tell us the magic you're using to make sure that these children feed? Because the figures you are giving us and what the Treasury has given us cannot add up to ensuring children are feeding. I come from Homa Bay, and there's a sub-county called Suba South, also feeding. I'm telling you, they get uji, and sometimes they go without food. Mr. Ken, you did not go, we did not go with you to Suba, but that is what is on the ground. Thank you very much. Just tell us the budget you're using to make sure that these children are really feeding. And yet you are just telling us the figures without knowing what is on the ground. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next. There was still a hand. Just next. Yes.
Thank you. I'm Moses from Kakamega. Leadership is also a problem. And we have seen it during implementation of junior secondary and primary secondary, where people are thinking others are senior and others are not. Now, will that reflect back to the senior secondary and the other people in that secondary to have two board teams?
Thank you. Next. The lady.
Okay, my name is Dorothy Chebet from Elimu Kwanza Initiative, Baringo County. I have some observations to make or comments emanating from what you have just heard from the two gentlemen, especially the teacher, who is now a project officer at the MOE. So you talked about retooling. Retooling sounds so flowery, very nice. It's a very nice term to use until you visit the schools and find that the teachers who have been retooled know nothing. And this is an experience I had personally. When World Bank visited Baringo early this year, and even we had EYC in Baringo, and we visited schools in Baringo. We went to schools in North, South, and Central in Baringo. My observation was really a sad event, because we found teachers who were from retooling, but they knew nothing about this new curriculum. Some schools still had books belonging to the other. Yes. Some had books, but they were still in boxes. They don't know what to do with them. So there is utter confusion. So even some of the head teachers whom I don't want to name, because we went to their schools, and Joseph knows about it when he came to Baringo. We went to those schools, and personally, I felt very bad that the government or World Bank uses so much money that would have gone to other projects to retool, but at the end of the day, nothing has happened. The learners, you go to class and they just look at you. They don't know whether they are in CBC, C what again, or 844. So we really need monitoring, a serious one. Monitoring and evaluation. Don't just take these teachers to fancy hotels or fancy places and teach them and just leave them to go back. You need to follow them up and assess them. Did they get it? Did they not get it? Okay. Secondly, sorry for taking your time. Secondly, is about school feeding program. It's a wonderful idea that our young ones at least will have a sustainable way to feed and get nutrients. But my worry is a person coming from an ASAL county like Baringo. We have many places in Baringo like Tiati where schools are far apart to up to 15 kilometers to reach another school. There are wards in Tiati, like places like Silale, that have one school or two, like 15 kilometers apart. In this feeding program, that really means well for the learners, especially the policy of that is coming up now of centralized kitchens. In such a scenario, what do we do? Do we come up with another practical way of feeding these children? Or this is just a policy that belongs to urban areas like Eldoret, as you have said, Nairobi and Kisumu. So that in places like Tiate, we have another policy on food, school feeding program. Thank you very much.
One more? Yes.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is David Shakwa. I'm coming from Trans Nzoia County. Now, my question will go to Juma. In your presentation, you started by saying it is a status update. And whenever you pick that word status and update, it means you are giving us an overview of what is happening on the ground. So my question will be, we are dealing with matters from 2022 up to 2026. We have got just few days or few months before we finish the program. And you were talking of 371.1 million USD. My question is, in your presentation, I know maybe you may not be an accountant or whatever, but did you pick anywhere where how much you have spent and what is remaining up to now? Or is everything gone up to now? That is one. Number two, you did not also substantiate between World Bank, GPE, and Lego how much each of them were able to put into the funding kit. I don't want to be so much critical, but I just want for understanding. I go to, is it James? The other, my colleague? Ken. I go to Ken, please. This is Sikip. In your presentation, you said, hii bado inaanza. Haijaanza mahali. But along the way, kuna pillar number 3. Pillar number 1 and pillar number 3. Number 1 is equity in secondary school education, and number 3 is equity and quality education. And then now you pick on NACONEC that is providing food. NACONEC is providing food to schools. And my question will be, just like the concern of my colleagues, Are we having a pilot project first, or are we going to have it all over the way it is supposed to be? That's one. Number two, Comestea, you said it's a homework for the team. But along the way, I realized it is promotion of girls' education. So if it is going to provide girls' education, where are we leaving the boy child? Where are we leaving this boy child? Because now it is coming. So before it comes, is there any way we can pick both of them to be on board so that we don't do like the way we have done for the last 10 years? The boy child is almost getting lost, including me. The last one would be, now I want to compliment your presentation. But it's very technical. This presentation is not meant for this audience. I don't know how you'll make another presentation one day that is fit for the others. Because this is not for this group. It is beyond this group. And then, one day, you said you sometimes incorporate our national coordinator in your meetings. One day, think about this group at that level, where you are going to have that meeting. We have the national coordinator and the chairman of the SEN in that particular area. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now please, hold on, those who are raising up your hands, hold on, we have at least those questions responded to. I request, yes, both Juma and Kenneth.
Thank you very much. Juma, wait, I deal with the easy ones, then you deal with the tough ones. That is the reason why it is good to start. I want to start from where he has left. That, do we only involve him when we go for our missions? And could you respond?
How many of us have been part of the joint monitoring exercises? I guess you're getting your answer. So it's not only me. So what that means is that they join the teams on the ground and they do or ask those difficult questions. And they are part of the process. So there's a way we have arranged it that makes it possible for our teams on the ground also to participate. And in most of these particular issues, sometimes it boils down to cost. But we try as much as possible to involve or give an opportunity for a particular region to participate. Now, since you are many and all over the country, you cannot always be in a joint monitoring exercise as a team. You become this year, the next year somebody else will be given an opportunity or supported to participate. But they involve us. So it would not be accurate that we are left out. Actually, we are down there on the ground in terms of participation. But there is also a cost element. So there is also that particular component. Now, there is anyway, maybe I will help clarify in case I could be speaking and an answer is here.
Thank you. I hope you have been answered. Every time I've gone out, I've had people from your team. Last time I was in Homa Bay and you have had one of my students in this class today has ably said that we were with him. You know, you are my students. And when a student says the teacher has been very technical, now, I don't know. I tried to, I was told about this presentation yesterday in the evening. I was trying to show you what we are going to do in a nutshell and also simplify the terms. Now, I don't know whether you wanted me to do it in the Luo so that you understand. Because now I will now be explaining this thing in my mother tongue. But I have taken your comment. And Juma, please, next time, these bosses of us will give us time. If you give me time, I can do a presentation. I can do it. I don't have a problem. So you invite me in your region, you will see what I will be doing. But sorry if the terms were technical. We know you are people who sometimes have interacted with these other terms. And sometimes when you come to Nairobi, you must also tease your mind kidogo. Kwani you think you are in the village. Lazima pia tuwachangamshe kidogo. Kwani utaambia watu nini ati ulikuwa Nairobi kama ujui DLI? Kama ujui pela? Ama hata pela mko mnajua? So it is good. We take your comments very positively. We will try to make sure our presentations are a bit to your level, but it is also good you also come up, isn't it? As we go down, you also do what? I've brought this, F, promoting girls' education in STEM. The word there is STEM. I had mentioned this word earlier. Now, research has it, and we have proven that there is a tendency of boys performing better in STEM subjects, while girls performing better in the social skills, isn't it? STEM is purely science, maths.
It's actually science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
There is this tendency of girls, especially after, we are talking about after this thing that is happening on Thursday, many of the boys automatically will be aligned with mathematics and physics. If you even take our previous statistics, you would find very many boys' schools are doing physics and mathematics and these technical courses, while many girls' schools are doing the social subjects. Now, this is when you talk about equity, it's not giving everybody an opportunity. It's giving those who are vulnerable more opportunity there. It does not mean that boys are not going to be helped, but we are trying to bring the aspects of girls also to do well in the STEM subjects. That is why we are reaching out to SEMASTER to do campaigns to help girls, using girls' schools, to tell them that even girls can do well in mathematics. If you look at statistics, for example, in Kajiado and Narok, you'll be surprised. Very few girls are doing well in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. Because when they reach Form 2, all of them go to CRE, history, like some of us did, isn't it? And if you go, you find the boys moving to physics. So we are trying to say the boys are already slightly on the right course, but we want to do affirmative action for the girls to also come up in STEM. Sawa sawa. We are not leaving the boys out. Actually, even in scholarship, we used to be giving girls 50, is it 55, Juma? And boys 45, Now I think it is at par. Yeah, we used to be giving girls more scholarship slots. Of course, we know girls have a lot of issues with completion of school compared to boys. But like you were saying, I'm also a boy child. Hey, boys are also suffering out here, bwana. Fare yao inakulu, wacha niwache hii. So you will understand. Hey, you don't laugh, surely. What have I said? I have not said anything. Boy child, si ndio? Hata saa hizi moja amekufa ako na shida mingi sana, Aya. So what we are saying is, we will endeavor to ensure that some of these programs, before we come up with them, we really do a lot of statistics to see what we can do. Somebody about school feeding and Tiati. I've been to Baringo myself. And let me tell you, these ASAL areas, even distributing food is difficult. There was a time our trucks for Nakonek for food, were in Marigat for almost a week because Tiati was impassable. Guns were blowing down there. So even if you want to distribute food, there's a place called Chemolingot. I don't know whether you know it. The roads and the insecurity makes it very, that is why sometimes food delays to get there, or sometimes food gets there very late, or sometimes we are having these challenges. But they are put in that. But Juma has explained here, and he will explain. Food is a crucial ingredient in learning in Kenya, and resources are not enough to do all schools. Therefore, we are doing affirmative action. Where there is much need is where food goes. Where there is much need. I have only mentioned about the cities because we have realized that over time, projects have been looking at the remote areas, taking food to the remote areas and forgetting about the city schools. Whereas the city schools, some of them have very unique challenges. And if we continue leaving them behind, then the cities will become, these are the children who develop into thugs, and you hear Nairobi is not a very safe place. And you say if Nairobi is not safe, food cannot even leave Nairobi to the village, isn't it? So we also wanted not to leave the towns. And in towns, we're not doing school to school, we are doing central, isn't it? But for the foods that are going to the ASAL areas,
the schools targeted by NACONEC, we are making sure that every term we at least give food. I will leave the tough question from my brother from Moa Bay to Juma, because mathematics was not very good with me. That is why I did geography and business studies. The maths of food, school feeding, Juma will handle. Then there was one more that I wanted to respond to. Leadership. Somebody talked about, we are having a lot of, and I agree with you, junior schoolers, we must also accept, isn't it? Junior has had a lot of challenges. Hello? Am I not saying the truth? We have had challenges. One of these challenges is leadership. I agree. Because some of these leaders were not very ready to accept this school. We had difference in policy. You remember during the late our brother Magoha, junior school was to be domiciled in secondary school. Were you there that time? We even built classrooms in secondary school. When this government of ours came in, it was taken back to. So even you in your heart, some of these abrupt changes caused a little bit of issues. So number one, I agree, leadership is everything. That is why in this program, we intend to even retool the head teachers. But over and above, what we have learned that is giving us a challenge in implementation of CBC, CBA, is the heart, like some of you here. Some of you here, I can see your heart. Some of you have just refused that hii kitu haifanyi. Hata walimu wetu. Some of them with you. Those of us who used to carry cow down to school. Wanasema hii kitu ni mbaya. Hata mwalimu anakuambia hii kitu, yani amekataa ku-accept. So it is a problem of perception and this attitude. So some of the head teachers wametoka retooling, unawauliza wanasema hata hiyo kitu hakuna kitu tumesikia. Hakuna kitu. Yani you mean they can be in that hotel for a whole week and come out with nothing? Surely. Hata nyinyi mmekaa hapa for a few hours. Si umesoma kakitu? Yani mimi nimesoma hapa for 2 hours na hujasoma kakitu? Ai bwana, you also be fair to us. Some of them is just their perception. Yani akishaona tu Mr. Ojwang aone huyu hata hakuna kitu anafundisha. Hata nifanye acheke. Hakuna kitu anaelewa. So it is perception, because some of these teachers thought they were going to teach in secondary school, yet they are finding themselves in staff rooms of primary school. Some of them were employed on contract and they are not happy with it. Some of them were deployed far away from the places they thought they were. There are so many issues. If I start counting them here, we will not go. But there are issues. But TSC and Ministry of Education is constant. You had TSC, we had KICD saying many of the officers are in the field. Currently, we are doing ruling for senior school. If you ask me whether there are going to be challenges, yes, there are going to be challenges. Because some of these teachers have been teaching the 844 curriculum, and now we are tuning them to teach CBC curriculum. So if you ask me, is there going to be challenge? I like to yes. Are we doing something about it? Is the issue. Is the ministry, TSC and KICD doing? The answer is yes, as we speak. Very many officers from KICD are out, and Mr. Budho will tell you when he comes to answer your questions. If you go to TSC, if you go to MOE, our whole directorate called Quality Assurance, we were with them at Kise. Our special focus is grade 10 now. Doing retooling for grade 10 teachers. So is the ministry doing something? Yes. Is there going to be a challenge? Yes, there could be a challenge here and there, but as usual, when something is new, they are teething problems. Thank you. Juma?
Thank you so much. There's a request. We have the Muslims, I'm advised you may break for the prayers, those who want to go. Then we have about 5 minutes, and then I request Juma, as he takes the questions, we write the questions. Then I'm going to request somebody collect the questions in the various rows so that we can have them captured. Then we'll be advised on that. So we have about 5 minutes, Mr. Juma, so you will do your best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to take even lesser than that because my brother Ken has actually been able to tackle most of the questions. And they are remaining the simplest ones. The simplest one. He was to work on the simple ones, but he has just left the simplest one. One is from my brother from Homa Bay there, who was asking about the magic the government is using in ensuring that they use the mega resources they have, the 3 billion, out of the reduced budgets to feed the children. That is a wonderful question, and it's a wonderful magic that the government is doing. Because, as you are saying, you have put it very well. The budget from the government was reduced. Yes. So that means you are appreciating that in the school feeding program, the government puts its resources there. Is that okay? The 3 billion you talked of. Sasawa, government money collected from you and me in form of taxes is there. KPIL program comes in to support the program. It brings in resources and other partners. They give all those resources to NACONEC to feed the children. All right? And as we are saying, the report is we have been able to support 2.6 million children in the calendar year. I had mentioned something to do with 155 days. That is what we are measured with to achieve that, what I was calling the indicator. For us to get reimbursement, but we are not saying that a school calendar is only 155 days. It can extend to 200. But when our verifier comes, wants to ensure that we were able to attain 155 days. So these children were not only fed by government resources. It is with other supports from KPIL, and other donors have put money to NACONEC to ensure that that program is able to be it's implemented in the best way possible. That is done. The last one, my brother here was asked about the status update. And I think that is what we did. We were given the status update. These were the things that we were able to do, and we have been able to do this. We have been able to achieve this. We would talk about the resort-based school grant. We talked about the SIP development. Money has been disbursed. We are remaining only with one tranche. I think I mentioned about that. I mentioned about that. I have mentioned about 2.6 million children being fed from 2022 up to 2025. We mentioned about that. We mentioned about IHABs being constructed. Are those not status updates? If not, they are not, then I don't know what status update is. And I think that we have actually been able to mention. And then we mentioned that this program, we received 317.1 dollars. Serves me right. I remember talking about $1 million from the World Bank, the IDA credit. I don't know whether there is anybody who heard me mention about that. Yes? I also mentioned about the 117 from the GPE and the REGO. That one came in one basket, right? The 117. That actually is not credit. It's actually a total grant. The 117 from the GPE, that is a total grant. And like the 200 million from IDA, 60 million is a grant from Window for Host and Refugee Community, and 140 is credit. All right? I think now, so that is okay now. My friend, you are comfortable with that? Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I want members. Yes. Maybe I'll ask you to explain the results for performance, how it works, because there was a question about the use of the money. a little bit. Maybe if you explain how the results for performance works.
Yeah, there was issue to do with the money. And somebody was wondering whether this money, how much we have utilized, isn't it? And there was a figure somewhere that we talked about 87%. What was 87? The 87% was what? Absorption rate, Cynthia. And I was saying what was remaining is just 13%. Yes? And we are saying this money is what will be supporting what? The things that I mentioned. Scholarship, implementation of scholarship. We have children who are in school. In Form now, the ones who will be going to Form 3 and Form 4. We still have resources for them to continue supporting them until they finish. We have a bunch that we have not given to our target schools and other small things that we are to do. So we are saying we are at 87% absorption. That means that majority of the things that this program was supposed to achieve, they have been achieved. So what is remaining is very little. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Juma. Now, members, I know we have a balance of time and a few things. Now, I want us to give our questions. Somebody collecting? Who is collecting? Somebody support me, collect the questions.
Maybe I'm being guided here that so that we make this very clear. Just like CKIP and KPIL, the model that these two programs have adopted is what we are calling the P4R. P4R, Program for Results. Program for Results. And that's why we're talking about result area. Results that you are supposed to achieve in this area. All right? And we are talking so much about the indicators because we measure the result using some indicators. The yards, what do we need to see having been achieved? And what this P4R means is that we were put on task as a government by our donors, by our partners, that for us to give you these resources, you have to achieve first, and after we achieve, you don't just come and tell us by your mouth that we have achieved. Sasa? Yes. So we were required to recruit an independent verifier who will come and check that those results have been achieved. And they write a report advising the donors that this has been done. It is after that we get back, we get the resources to continue with other activities. Are you getting that? Yes. You achieve first, then you get verified, you get the results. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Juma, Ibrahim. Yes. Just a comment, a quick one, because I know time has gone. We have got government officers with us here. And for me, because I participated in the monitoring of KPIL, I want to be very biased and say it is one of the programs I've seen results and immediate results. I am from Kakamega County and I joined the team, and based on the projects and results areas they've mentioned, I saw a classroom that has been constructed and with the KPIL within time and of high quality. I want also to comment on the issue of bursaries. I was in Mugumu High School, where they were from the Equity Bank, and those guys were giving very moving testimonies on how then fully the package it is. I also moved to Lugari TTC, where there is an iHub, and I can confirm within a very period of time when they were funded, they have money to come up with an all-round. So I'm saying this because we also need our CSOs to be very fair and give an effective feedback, because GP under the global partnership, as CSOs also we are benefiting. So if the government fails, also us we are failing. So what Juma and Ken, I just wanted to give that kind of testimony that we've witnessed and have been part of the people who've seen those results. We had our own measures, but the measures we had with Susan, I don't know when Susan is here, we developed our own tool of assessment based on the questions we were asking, and we scored 72%, and I think I shared the report in terms of the progress and the work based on the objective that was made. So thank you so much. I just wanted to make that comment. However, when it comes to learning outcomes indicators, we have with Professor Dr. Manyasa, which shows that there are some still challenges in terms of comprehension. And we are saying at this level, if you scored 87% in issues around English, and the reports are saying that learners in grade 6 are not able to comprehend a story for grade 3, I think we need to do a lot of work in terms of then how do we give an indicator at that level for improvement. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother from Kakamega. So members, I was trying to balance our time, and we are saying questions now, and make sure you give them out before you go for lunch. Now, I'm guided, and as I give the guidelines, please, I want somebody to prepare to pray for us for the lunch. You can start. What? So we are going for lunch. You are going to make sure you have a meal card. Make sure